Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. I thought I would give one of these everyday carry videos a try, because it's a genre here on YouTube that I genuinely find really interesting. I mostly watch homesteaders or firefighters or people who have a lot of pockets that shove a lot of tools and knickknacks into them, or Adam Savage over at Tested. I love watching his favorite tools and everyday carry items and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, and I've been thinking to myself, what are the items that I always try to have on hand, or that I am sort of disappointed if I don't currently have them with me? And so I pulled some together. Now, some of these are in my pocket nearly all the time, constantly. Some of these are things that if I forget them when I need them, or if I'm going to a shoot or a contract or something like that, I try to make sure I always have them. And then I have a few items at the end, specifically a few board game recommendations, because this is still a board game channel, and my favorite bourbon, currently, my favorite bourbon and my favorite mug that I figured I'd show off to you, if you hang out, if you're just interested, if you like these type of videos. So let's start with the things that I always have on hand, kind of in my pocket, period, right now. First, of course, is going to be my phone. I have a nice little yellow case on it here. This is going to be an iPhone. I basically run my life off of this thing, responding to comments, engaging with you, hanging out with the community on Discord, taking business calls, sending emails. This is, I think I probably use this for business 5 to 6 hours a day. Just engaging with the community, trying to keep a tone on things, making sure I am always and constantly available whenever someone needs me. And then I also almost always have something playing. If I'm not filming, if I'm not doing something actively that requires my attention, I almost always have music or a podcast or an audiobook or a YouTube channel streaming from this device. It is a constant connection. It is just a constant piece of hardware that I really couldn't run Quackalope without it. And so, this is part of my everyday carry. Paired with that iPhone are going to be two things. First off, I have my original Beats Studios. This is the only pair of Beats I've ever owned. They are over the ear, specifically because I don't like the ones that just rest on your ears. I like everything to be cushioned. And if you look, these are probably the most comfortable headphones I've ever owned, because I've spent 3 years, maybe 4 years now, wearing them in. I even had this plastic part broke, and I just duct taped it together. They don't, they don't stay latched as well as they used to anymore. But by golly, these things work. And so these, for a long time, were always around my neck or on my head whenever I was leaving the house, or even just walking around the house. Shockingly, we now have competition. I was just gifted a pair of these Apple, whatever they are, EarPod Pros. They integrate really well with the iPhone, and I normally do not like in your ear headphones. They always fall out. The cable gets tangled. It gets in the way. They're just not comfortable. These are by far the most sturdy and comfortable ones I've ever used, and I find myself grabbing them more often than I am. I'm currently grabbing my the legacy item that I have, my Beats here. So either one of those two items are constantly in my ear, usually playing something from my phone. Let's continue with things that are always in my pocket. If I'm leaving the house, I am bringing my keychain with me. I have 3 keys on here, one of which is to my house, one of which I no longer remember why it's here, so I should either remember or remove it, and the other one is going to be to my 2008 Kia Rio, the only car I've ever owned with a proud 210,000 miles on it, and a perfect driving record to boot. And I also have, I remember when I first got my keychain, probably 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, my girlfriend at the time and me picked up a little Harley Quinn pop, and that has remained on my keychain ever since. I don't have any other ornaments or anything else that dangles. It's too much, but I have really liked how that's just sort of gotten older and just started to wear out over time. So I'll be sad if that Harley Quinn ever falls off. And then I have a little simple, I think this was a Beats one originally. It's just this little simple hook. Forget what this is called, like a U-clip or something like that. And I'll usually just hook this to my belt whenever I'm stepping out of the car, just to make sure that these don't fall off. Paired with that, I always have my wallet with me. Now, my wallet's going to have some very simple things. It's going to have my driver's license, my motorcycle license, which is currently expired, a few different credit cards, a debit card that I need to get replaced because the last time I tried to use it, I realized it was expired and I couldn't get money from the ATM to go get food at the vendor hall at a Renaissance festival. So I should probably deal with that at some time. The real thing that I want to point out is I always carry a backup car key because I travel so much, I'm on the road so much, and I have locked my door by accident with my wallet in my pocket and my keys still in the ignition, probably 2 or 3 times, but that was enough to realize, keep one in my wallet. I always have one of these two things on me. Either my wallet is in my car, my keys are in my pocket, or they're both with me, or my keys are locked in the car and my wallet happen to go with me because I'm going into a store. And then I don't carry any real cash in the top compartment of that. I'll use that for receipts and things, but I do carry just a 20 or 2 20s down in the side pocket, so that if I get into a position where I need cash, which is very rare, or more importantly, if I'm going through a toll booth, I'll always have that on hand just so that I don't have to deal with mail-in tickets or anything like that. So that's going to be my wallet. That is also always consistently with me. Hair ties, a recent thing. I found a pair, a brand that stick pretty well. They've got a lot of tension to them. I always have my hair just because it is, you know, in a almost always up in a ponytail at this point because I think it looks the best that way, and it's just a mane whenever it's down. So I usually have 2 or 3 of those in just every pair of pockets that I have, just so that when I need it, when I want to look a little bit more professional, I have them on hand to use. Continuing with that theme, the hat that I'm wearing, this hand-knitted hat, it is so incredibly comfortable. It is not very hot because it has a lot of holes in it, so it's comfortable, it's lightweight. I just love the way it feels and hangs, and again, it just makes me look slightly more professional when my hair, when I don't want to have to deal with the fact that my hair looks ridiculous. This is also almost always with me, usually competing with the Beats there. Continuing with this, I have 2 items. I usually have these in my pocket probably 50 to 70% of the time. We have a Swiss Army knife here, just a bright yellow one. I really like having just a little pocket knife. You can open things, you can just, a little bit of a screwdriver here, just a few simple blades, can opener as well. It's just nice when you need it to have it on hand. And when you have one with you, this one also has a toothpick and more useful, a little tiny pair of tweezers. And so when you have one of these on you, you forget how often or how convenient it is to like pull it out, have it ready to go. That's gonna be my knife. I also have 2 different versions of a space pen. Now I like the black one more here. If you're not familiar with space pens, look them up. They are pens with a compressed air pouch in the center. I actually found them through Adam Savage's tested channel, I believe. I think I was actually watching a everyday carry video when I discovered these and ordered some, and now they're part of my everyday carry plan. They are nice, compact, little bullet-sized pens, and they have a compressed air cartridge, so they always write on anything. I mean, you can write on my hand, through oil, in water, anything that you need that ink to transfer onto, these are going to be your best bet by far. And the nice thing about this one, it's a little bit heavier, it's got some nice weight to it, but it also has a touchpad, so I can activate my phone and maneuver through it. I don't use that often, but sometimes it is nice to have that. And this is just going to be a little brass one. I don't like the fit of this one quite as much, and it's not quite as heavy as I'd like. There's a little bit of a rattle to it. I do like the style and the design, but I often find myself going to this black one above that one. Space pens, those are going to be fantastic. Now we're getting to things, well, recently, this has become an everyday carry. Now I do have this version of a mask with my Quackalope embedded there. This is a really, really dense mask though, and so I get air straight up into my eyes when I use it. A friend made this for me. He had his mother hand-stitch Quackalopes, and so this has been a memento. And one that I'll use depending on the environment I'm in, but more often than not, if I know I'm going to be fairly distant from people, I will utilize this little plaid mask here. And I'm going to be honest, I mean, this is easy to carry, easy to pocket, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would venture to guess I am more attractive with the mask on. So, I mean, in my opinion, this is, I mean, it's kind of stylish. Like, I think I kind of look hot. That's going to be the masks that I carry. Let's get to things that are a little bit more periphery now. I always have a duck with me, either in a bag or in a pocket or just carrying around in my hand. It goes without saying that a quackalope has to have some ducks with him. I'm not good at juggling. I'm just good at tossing ducks and pretending like I can catch them. Let's start with the ominous bag of pills. I usually, especially during contracts or long road trips, there was a period of time where I was drinking a lot of Red Bull. I switched to these smarter vitamins, Caffeine Plus with L-theanine. This is coconut oil or nut oil. They're going to be a nice, strong, medicated dose of caffeine with some other vitamins and minerals and things in there that help it not hit as hard, help you not have as much of a burnout on them. These pack a punch, but I like them as opposed to drinking a lot of energy drinks or other caffeine supplements. And sometimes, if I'm on the road, if I'm at a wedding, if I'm on a shoot, and I cannot afford to have my energy kind of expire, I will take one of these. And I don't ever need the full bottle with me, so I usually try to have about 3 because I never take more than 1 in a session. And I usually try to have about 3 just tossed into a backpack, tossed in my camera bag. Not in my pocket because they'll get gooey, but you get the point. For contract work, these are usually with me, or long car drives. Let's continue here. I have a little SanDisk SD. This is a 1 terabyte SD card reader, or storage device. I don't use this to edit off of. I haven't loved it when it comes to actually editing and processing, but for quick, easy storage or transporting data, this has worked really well. So bringing photos to someone, handing off video projects to a client, or handing them off to a contractor. This is my go-to portable storage device. And so this weekend, I have a shoot up in Washington, D.C. I'm going to see Jan for the weekend. This is going to be going with me so that I can transfer, process, and have all of the photos on hand without a lot of cumbersomeness getting in the way. And let's continue. The last thing I have here is not an everyday carry, but it is an everyday wear. From hiking on the Appalachian Trail, I first discovered smart wool socks on the Appalachian Trail. These are going to be hiking and outdoor socks, but they have different variations for different types of weather conditions, different types of shoes that you're wearing. These are going to be more of their mid-weight running and daily use items. I switched probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, to trying to make sure that I always am wearing smart wool socks throughout the course of the day. When you're on your feet for a long period of time, having good shoes and good socks makes such a difference. And so I cannot scream highly enough. They are pricey per pair, but man, are they worth it. They last way longer than any other sock I've ever used. They are comfortable. They keep your feet dry. They are just genuinely, they're really great products. So these are going to be smart wool socks. I have some denser ones as we get into the winter. If I was riding my bike, if I had boots on, if I needed to stay warmer during these cold winter months, these are what I would go for. But predominantly, I use these lower cut ones. Down here, I have smart wool gloves as well. Again, a thin pair of gloves. I can still operate and use a camera when I need to, but shooting weddings during the winter months or being outside, needing to have access to your hands, your fingers, your camera buttons without anything big and bulky on them, these are going to be the warmest gloves I have come across that are still lightweight, low density. And there's also a neck garter or a pullover. I really love the pullover as well. I'm going to have to get another one for this winter season because I lost mine during the move. But it is the same exact material, just like this. So moving that over to the side, and if you're still watching at this point, hopefully you've enjoyed this. There is links to all of these items down in the comment or the description down below. I might even see if I can sign up for like Amazon affiliate or anything like that. I don't think I'll be able to do it in time, but But yeah, I'll have links to all of these different items in case there's any of them that you want to check out or pick up or anything like that. And who knows, maybe down the road I'll be able to do like an Amazon affiliate program or something where I get a percentage on what I'm able to direct people's attention to. And as long as I'm talking about things that I genuinely use, why not? Let's talk about my favorite bourbon currently and my favorite mug that I've ever found. My favorite bourbon at the moment is going to be the Basil Hayden's Dark Rye. From Kentucky, I have to like bourbon, and I like a sweeter bourbon. So this is going to be a Kentucky straight rye whiskey blended with Canadian rye whiskey and port. It is the port blend in this that seals the deal for me. It's just a little sweeter. It's just a little bit smoother. I love making an old fashioned out of this. I also love drinking it neat. Yeah, and it's not too expensive. This is going to be my go-to bourbon at the moment. And if I could bring a mug with me as an everyday carry, if this collapsed into a thing that I could just fit into my pocket, this hands down would be on my everyday carry list. It's just a little bit too big and bulky for me to do that with. But this is the Mr. Coffee coffee cup, and it's got a nice sturdy handle. I'm persnickety about my coffee cups. Specifically, I like drinking a lot of tea during the winter, and so this is coming out of storage, getting ready to be used as we approach those colder months. What's really great about this. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's nice and stable. It doesn't get hot on the bottom, but it is fully ceramic the whole way through. And so I like the aesthetic of this, but I also more specifically just love the utilization of it. Instead of having a smaller cup, I still get that big cup that I want from a mug, but I just like the way it grips, I like the way it handles, and I like the tubular nature of the ceramic. All right. If you've made it to this point, this is still a board game channel, and so I thought, while these aren't everyday carry items, these are grab and goes if I'm going to be outside playing games, if I want to go to a restaurant and get something down onto the table. I thought I'd just mention a few different titles and a few different companies who are doing some really interesting and exciting things. Hive, this is going to be the Carbon Edition. I have a review of this that we did way early in Quackalope history and lore. There's also going to be a Pocket Edition, which is the same mechanics, just smaller squares. This is going to be similar to chess in terms of a head-to-head tactics game where you're maneuvering pieces, both black and white, trying to capture the opponent's honeybee, the queen bee. The movements here, the gameplay, and the way that you build the hive together is going to make this always an interesting and new experience. I've played this at restaurants more than probably any other game. Great grab-and-go item. Tussie Mussy. This is going to be designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, but more importantly, this is going to be produced, if I can find, it is produced by Button Shy. Now, I've also owned Circle the Wagons and a few of their other titles. Tussie Mussy is the only one that I have at the moment. It's just a very simple flower passing game. It's very cute. It's very charming. All of these are supposed to be little wallet-sized games. You just slip into your back pocket, have them ready to go, and I really like the stuff that Button Shy has been putting out. In fact, I really want to pick up nearly all of their titles and do a Button Shy showcase or something at some point, just to talk about and show off all of the different unique designs that they've been able to fit into such a compact space. Finally, moving over here, we have two more games. Let's do Mint Control. This is going to be a game by Poketo. So this is one of the Mint Tin games. They have Mint Works, Mint Cooperative, Mint Control, Mint Delivery. Mint Control and Mint Works are going to be my favorites out of that lineup. We've done coverage on them all in the past, but I'm really liking Mint Control quite a bit. This is the prototype version that I have. I'm not sure if it has delivered yet to backers, but if it hasn't, search out and go pick up a copy of Mint Works. It really is just a lovely game, and because these are just little mint tin size, perfect to toss into a backpack, toss into a bag, stick in your pocket. You can have it ready to get out and play without a second thought. And then finally, the only cardboard box that I have with me is Air, Land, and Sea. This is a game that Shut Up and Sit Down actually put me onto as well. Very simple game, but here's the thing. If you want to carry it with you, all you really need, because you don't really need those, you just need to agree where Air, Land, and Sea is, all you really need is this. And if you want to really boil it down, if you have a pen with you, you don't even need the coins. All you really need, the entire game, is this. And it is a genuinely really good game. This is going to be a tactics, card-driven game where you're, well, not tactics, this is going to be a card-driven game where you're trying to utilize the cards in your hand that you were dealt, fighting in the 3 different fronts, and deciding when to call it a game, when to end the battle, retreat, and give your opponent some victory points so that you can win the war overall. That's sort of the theme or the idea of it. Yeah, great little grab-and-go one. Great one to stick into your pocket if you just want something that is easy and accessible, but don't play it on a windy table. I realized that the hard way because the wind just picks up all of the cards. So that, I believe, is going to be a video. That is my every-ish day carry. Now, granted, about half of the stuff in here are not things that I have with me all the time perpetually, the board games and the bourbon and stuff like that. But that first starting pile, that really is the stuff that if I'm grabbing, if I'm putting things in my pocket, if I'm hitting the road, I am always double-checking if I have at least some series or some combination of those items. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Leave a comment down below. What items are in your everyday carry? What do you think would complement or be added to mine in sort of a beneficial way? Do you see any holes, any things that I might be missing that could really just improve how I approach kind of daily life or day-to-day activities? So, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here one more time. And whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.